A surgeon, a stalker, a double murder. The probable cause affidavit in the Tepe case just dropped, and what's inside is chilling. Death threats, a 17-hour phone blackout, video of McKee at their home mere weeks before the killings. I'm Bob Motta. That's my beautiful and brilliant co-host, Ali, and this is Defense Diaries. What up, Doe? I am Bob Motta. This is Defense Diaries. As always, I am joined by my beautiful and brilliant co-host, Ali. What up, girl?
Hey, babe. Hey, all.
So what's up?
I mean, not much.
All right. Take care, everybody. Take care. It was a good live. It was short. It was sweet. It was to the point. We are back again. Today is, I believe, Wednesday, the 28th of January. We sit in frigid Chicagoland, Illinois, the frozen tundra. It's been below 10, it seems like, for a month. I know most of the country's going through it, so I know most of you are feeling me. You guys on the other side of the pond, I don't think you're quite feeling the pain, but that's good for you. I'm a little jealous.
We're also not staying up on their weather like we are ours. So
true story. You know, we're super jingoistic over here. All we give a shit about is ourselves. You know, the ugly Americans, they never learn how to speak the language and going over it. They just speak louder. Yeah, I don't speak the Italian. I'm American. You know, instead of like actually trying to learn some words. You know, we're an ugly people over here in America on occasion. So look. We nailed that cold open. I have to say that right from the get.
You did, babe. You did.
Fucking crushed it.
I nailed the button pushing right at the right time for the intro.
You most certainly did. But here, look, before we get started, I have to make this a habit. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have not liked this live yet, please just shrink down that chat, hit that thumbs up button, and please subscribe. It's free. Become a member if you really love us, because we really, really love our members. So we are excited to be back. We had our little field trip. Ali was without me on Monday. So we're back as a team, which is just like, I feel whole now. I feel whole. But Ali did the heavy lifting, allowed me to get Garcia, which I believe is on Patreon. So Garcia.
Wow, already?
Patreon. Yeah, Darren got it turned around. Yeah, so I'm writing that ship. Already got 70 written, recording that tomorrow. So we're going to be pumping them out until we get that season finished. So, and I, of course, apologize to everybody in there for the sabbatical. Yeah, I had to take kind of a sabbatical from that. It's hard. It's hard writing that. It's hard. You know, I'm 68 episodes in.
And there's probably many people here that have no idea what you're talking about. Oh. But we started this podcast to actually promote Bob's. Yes. I mean, we started this YouTube channel to promote Bob's podcast, Defense Diaries, and Buried Inside the John Wayne Gacy Investigation. So season 2 of Defense Diaries is what Bob's working on now. It is a serial killer case that we represented the defendant. And as he said, He just released 69, has written 70, and is about to record it. So if you love the sound of his voice, you'll love it even more because his podcast voice is so sexy.
Yes, indeed. When I'm in podcast voice mode, it is quite alluring. Yeah.
So wait, I wasn't finished. So pop over to your whatever.
Get your pods on.
Yeah, whatever app you get your pods on, and like, subscribe, follow Defense Diaries and Buried Inside the John Wayne Gacy Investigation.
5-star review and Ashley Writer review. So that'll be nice. All right. So there's enough promotion for the beginning. We are jumping back into the Monique and Spencer Tepe murders, which occurred in Columbus, Ohio, back on December 30th. Investigation went on for, I don't know, 10 days, something like that. And then they make the arrest. Turns out they're arresting Monique's ex-husband, Michael McKee, vascular surgeon, seemingly decent life, but alleged
long since divorced. Long since divorced. No issues on paper to speak of. No one knows how much wallowing in anger he may have been doing, or what the hell the story is. And of course, we don't know the facts yet. So just,
we don't. But with the unsealing of the probable cause affidavit, we did get some more clues as to how this thing went down,
or at least how the prosecution is saying it went down.
Yeah, maybe. I think this guy's a fucking psychopath, but that's just me. I mean, look, he's innocent until proven guilty, but on the front end, they seem to have some powerful evidence against him. All right, so I saw a comment that I wanted to throw up right away. Hi, guys. Are we going to finish the other trial? I assume that you're talking about Zach Adams, and I'm glad that you asked, Beach Girl, because I have portaled you all. At the end of this particular live, you will be sent magically through the YouTube tubes to the new live, which will be starting at 2:30, which we are, in fact, picking up part 8 of the Zach Adams trial from 2017. And big witness on there. Big witness, right, Pay?
Yes. The man.
Guy's excited about it.
Yes. The man. The meth. The liar. The dog. Jason Autry.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
I mean, he's the guy that got Adams convicted unequivocally.
I'll have to say, and then I'll go deal with the dog who won't stop, that I had a comment I wanted to put up. Kyle Sharkey says, can I ask what trial is on Bob's sweater? Well, thank you for asking.
Yeah, and tell me that you never listened to our podcast on Spotify. People can't see it. Apple.
Stand up.
This is our cover art. This is our cover art for our podcast, our actual podcast. It's our new art. I love it. I love it very, very much. And it's pretty cool. It's obviously a defense attorney with his client here in the daunting trappings of the court. And I feel it really impresses upon what our channel is all about. So thank you for asking. Yeah, Defense Stars. This is going to be available for people because it's pretty dope. Our one for the docket is equally cool, which we like. I wanted like a retro vibe because, I'm an old man. So that makes sense. That tracks, right? So what the dog doing? All right, you guys, let's get into it. As you know, last week, we were anticipating the beginning of the Aaron Spencer trial, much to our shock and surprise and glee. They removed Judge Elmore from that case, so that is going to kick the can down the road a bit. How long? It's not quite known yet, but I think it's probably going to be a minute. The judge has to get acclimated. Judge Wilson, in that case, the new judge, we're hoping, by all accounts, he looks to be a perfect fit for that particular case because of his work with children's advocacy throughout his career. He's noted for being a judge that was a champion for children. And in that particular case, with that particular fact pattern, that that looks to be a good fit. So I'm super optimistic about that. I'm still hoping the state's going to pull their head out of their ass and drop the case because it's what they should do. I think it's misguided. They're trying them, but we'll see. They'll be ready to go to trial if they have to either way. But for the kids, for the family, for everybody involved with that, it would be much, much better. And for the taxpayers, it would be much better if they did not have to go to trial. But we'll see how that plays out. All right, so back to the Tepes. Yesterday, they finally unsealed the probable cause affidavit because we had some facts. All of our amazing sleuthers out there in the world were doing some digging. So we were finding out that McKee was a creep. We were finding out that he was an abusive son of a bitch. We were finding out that he was not a great doctor, that he'd been sued for a couple times for malpractice. So he had some stuff going on. But we weren't getting many facts, right? We were just kind of left with, we caught this dude walking down this alley. We followed him. Seems like he could be the guy. Everything that we knew on the front end, right? Which obviously they were able to track this silver SUV back to Rockford, Illinois. They're able to show that it was him in that car before and after the homicides. They were able to put together various other things that led them to feel pretty comfortable about the fact that McKee was a good arrest on this thing. So we'll and that's where we were left until yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing up. And there, as you can see, is obviously the beautiful couple. So I'm going to have to pull them down. Look at those two. Happy. So happy. Oh. What a shame. And there's Blockhead. There he is. Look at that Blockhead. This guy, man, he's hard to figure. What a psychopath, maybe, allegedly. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, as defense attorneys, obviously, and as due process lovers, as we are over here on this channel, and which includes you guys in the chat, we understand that every defendant is innocent until proven guilty. However, that does not mean, here's Shannon in here with spoilers. Spoiler alert. Here's Shannon spoiling. Shannon, that's what we're talking about in the live. Don't spoil. Come on, man. You guys are going to start typing what every fact. And I think I was one of the first people to post the affidavit because Enton, whatever he put out was not accurate at first. Not accurate. And I love Brian Enton. He's out there doing the shit. So I have a lot of respect for him. But, it's like you can't be so itchy to be the first out there to get some shit out there and have it be fucked up because that's bad intel. He did correct it later, which I appreciated because I fucked up, especially over on Twitter. If I put something out a little early or there's an inaccuracy, I want to correct it because it's important. Accuracy matters. All right. So let me pull this guy up.
Just facts.
Just facts, indeed. All right. I was just bragging on how you dug this thing up. I'm pretty sure I was one of the first people to post this because it was hard to find.
I mean, we had that first page somehow before.
It was different though.
It
was different. It was a little bit different. They had added some things. It was it was not quite as beefed up as it was here. All right. Let me get this guy pulled up. Take a peek. It is disturbing. It raises a lot of questions about what the hell's going on in this case, but in terms of protection for women in these relationships that were violent, the DV issue in this country is something that is just not being addressed properly because as we get through this, I think you're going to find, babe, because I don't know if you read through it all, that this dude was back on the radar. This wasn't completely out of the blue. She was having to deal with this fucking guy way after the fact. And it seemed to be more than just the fact that there was some kind of clerk's error and the divorce pop back up. It seemed like there's more than that to it.
Right.
All right. So,
And I just want to speak on that DV issue. Unfortunately, we've got to strike this balance between, the majority of the cases being real abuse situations, and then it's undeniable that you have women and sometimes men as well, but we're talking about issues with women, so sticking with that, who use the order of protection system, abuse it to
yeah,
get their husband or so and so out of the house, to to do something else. And we see it in the man situation in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. At least the way I see it for now, based on the limited I know.
yeah,
I'll just say that. But I think that balance has to remain, no matter how often abused, in weighing in the favor of protection on the emergency basis. When you go to get that emergency order of protection, because that's not going to stay on your record, it's temporary, and you get your chance to fight it, on your day in court. I mean, I do think that courts need to start looking at them more thoroughly, because I've seen things pass through the emergency side that should just have been like, wait, what?
right.
But, and I guess I'm getting too deep into it now.
No, you're not. I actually love this conversation. You're not at all, because that, the way I always term it, I'm like that, you have people that use it as a sword as opposed to a shield, which is what the intent was, the legislative intent of it, which creates a problem for exactly what Ali's talking about, because I think a judge's initial position is they're going to be inclined to grant it because they'd rather be safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because you're going in and I think it's probably the same in a lot of jurisdictions, but in Illinois specifically, you go in ex parte, which means that you do not have to give notice to the other side, which, when you think about it, makes a hell of a lot of sense. If you're in an abusive relationship where this person has just been browbeating the shit out of you, whether it be physically, whether it be emotionally, whether it be financially, mentally, or all the ways, to the extent where you feel helpless, and then you finally are able to break free and get to the courthouse to fill out the paperwork to try to save your own life. The thought of having to give that person notice ahead of time defeats the purpose, right? So you had to make it in such a way that women in particular felt the power to be able to go do that, knowing that they weren't going to have to be notified ahead of time. Because in most cases, in almost every other type of case, we have to be given notice. You have to notice up at the other side. You just can't walk into a court of law and get anything ordered if you can't show that you've given notice, proper notice to the other side. And so they carved out that exception for, domestic violence acts. And it's
Like we
critical.
said, on the emergency
Right.
petitions. And at least in every jurisdiction I'm aware of, how it works where you don't have to give that notice. It's a lot easier to get the emergency, but that's not going to remain on someone's background. It's not going to be something that shows up once expired. I mean, once it's in place, yeah, a cop's going to be able to see it. It's going to pop up. But once it's either dismissed, like there is no final plenary, as we call it, permanent, whatever words you want to use, order of protection granted, after the other side does get notice and does get the opportunity to respond, if it doesn't pan out, then that's not going to stay on your background that you at one point had an emergency order of protection. So and that's kind of the balance that they struck. And I have to say that no matter how often it's used as a sword and as inconvenient as that is, because a lot of times those emergency getting the person out of the house initially, and as long as it takes to resolve it, ultimately kind of does the trick. Like, oh, my husband's out, he's already got another apartment, haha. It's like in those situations, that's kind of like the pill we have to swallow to be able to offer the protection to those who need it. And most of the times I still think it's people who need it that are going in for it.
I think it's a vast majority of the time. And look, I put it on the judges, because ultimately it's that judge who's sitting up there. Like, use some context clues. Like, if you're getting a an OP or a petition for a temporary, and you see that prior to, like within a week or a month even, that a petition for dissolution was filed, then you have to immediately, your first position has to be, okay, is this a strategic move to get them out of the house? Is there a custody issue here? Are they using it in a strategic type of way in order to get the upper hand one way or the other? And then delve into the facts, but keep that in mind. I mean, there's ways that they can vet it. I mean, but they are limited because you only have one party and they're basically saying whatever the hell they want to say. You hope, I mean, maybe what the answer is that if the other shoe drops and it turns out that one of the parties came in on some bullshit, that there's some kind of remedial action that could be taken against the person who filed a frivolous pleading, and caused like a lot of disruption to another person, caused a disruption to the courts, a waste of time and money and resources and all those things. But I mean, I think there's avenues, but like you said, it's a bitter pill that we have to swallow, but we have to do it because it's mandatory that we have that particular statute treated in that way because it empowers women to be able to, and again, like you said, I mean, I'm sure men use it, but let's be real about it. Men are fucking pigs and monsters, and it's like that's really who it was developed for. You all right there, little Bubs?
Yeah, I just had a little cough.
I saw that. All right, so let's dig in with again, this was unsealed yesterday. Ali tends to think that I think it's beefed up a little bit. But
and it very well may be.
That was like I was trying to say cognitive dissonance on Tony's show yesterday. I was like in a fucking loop. I couldn't put it out. Like he's finally like cognitive dissonance. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. I could not spit it out. It was so weird. It made me feel like I was
old age.
I had dementia or some shit. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, words are hard. Okay. All right. So let's get right into the summary statements of facts. All right. So on December 30th of 2025 at 9:57 a.m., Columbus Police Patrol officers were dispatched. There's no way you guys can see that shit, right? I imagine it's pretty small. Yeah. Like there's no way I could read that from the screen. I'll tell you what.
I made us smaller, so that was bigger.
Okay. So again, Columbus Police Patrol officers were dispatched to 1411 North 4th Street on a check on the well-being of a Dr. Spencer Tepe, who had not shown up to work. Officers arrived and found Dr. Tepe and his wife, Monique. I keep calling her Monica. It's so awful. Monique Tepe, deceased inside, suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 minor children were found inside the home unharmed. Columbus Fire Medic number 7 responded and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m. So far, that was definitely there. Okay, like we've heard all that before. So Columbus Police Unit or Homicide Unit Team 2 was advised, responded, and initiated an investigation. Early on in the investigation, detectives were advised by identifiable friends and family of Monique Tepe that Monique had told them her ex-husband, this is new,
yes,
Dr. Michael McKee, had been abusive and had made numerous threats on her life during and after their marriage. So that is new information that came out yesterday. An identifiable witness, it's an identifiable, look, they just put so an identifiable witness told detectives that Monique Tepe had shared an allegation against Michael McKee of forced unwanted sex and strangulation. Wow. Another identifiable witness told detectives that Michael D. McKee told Monique that he could kill her at any time and would find her and buy the house right next to her, that she will always be his wife. Wow. I mean,
man, he bided his fucking time, this guy. If he's the guy. Allegedly.
Yeah. Wow. During the investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. This suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. Video of this vehicle and very distinct features allowed detectives to identify both a stolen Ohio license, new info as well as an Arizona license being displayed on it at different times. So he's swapping out his plates. So further searches showed this vehicle to be associated with a past address of Michael McKee, as well as his current work address in Rockford, Illinois. Additional video was obtained and showed McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. So he's a scary fucking guy. Whether he's the guy or he isn't, he's a scary fucking guy.
Yeah, agreed. As alleged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got that on witnesses. So, like, I mean, I guess they could be lying. Seems like a weird thing to
I'm
lie
just saying,
about.
as they allege,
Yeah.
Gotta cover our bases over here.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, look, shit leans guilty, shit leans innocent based on an affidavit, but
Right. I agree.
You still got to prove it up. But this leans heavy guilty.
Yes.
Guy looks to be a fucking murdering psychopath, but they got to prove it up. All right, back to the body, as my wife loves to say. All right, so this is all new information. We had not seen any of this second page. So they had beefed up that first page. There was obviously some incredibly disturbing tidbits that we got there. But this is all fresh. And when I read it, I'm just like, oh, wow. So detectives also recovered video of the same suspect entering the curtilage. Babe, do you want to give us a legal definition of curtilage?
Well, that would be the area outside of the house, like the sidewalk, the driveway,
the yard
surrounding
the house. You can look it up on Black.
The land, the land immediately surrounding it.
Right. So that's where Enton got a little over his skis, because I think he initially reported that he was in the house, which we don't know, because that curtilage does not mean in the house.
Right. It seems like circumstantial evidence that he's on the curtilage, he disappears, and then poof, he's back on the curtilage.
Well, I mean, he could have been in the backyard.
Right.
Trying to figure out how to get in that house a month before he does dirty deeds.
Right. He could have been scoping, could have been putting surveillance equipment there.
He could have been doing all kinds of shit. Could have been looking for where they hide their spare key.
Right. But it does seem like he was probably, tracking them some way. So might have been.
I mean, he was stalking her.
Right. Stalking.
Like flat out. Forget cameras. This lunatic was driving out there.
Well, I know, but I was just saying maybe he did that once he drove out there. I don't know. Go on. Continue.
All right. So he's entering the curtilage on 1411 North 4th Street on December 6th, 2025. So a full 24 days prior to the homicides. He has driven his ass back to Ohio, back to Columbus, and he's creeping on his ex and her new husband, and exiting a few hours later when the Tepes were away. These dates are consistent with video recovered of the silver SUV and are consistent with dates which Michael D. McKee was not on the schedule at St. Anthony's Hospital. Oopsies. Oops. So much for your alibi.
Yep.
Well, we get to what he tries to do in order to create an alibi. It's super whack. So on January 9th of 2026, detectives seized the silver SUV bearing the Arizona temp tag from the lot at St. Anthony's Hospital, Rockford, Illinois, where Michael D. McKee works. Formerly. Detectives noticed fresh scrape marks on the window where the sticker, which had been on the vehicle prior to the homicides, had been hastily removed.
They'll never identify this car now.
They'll never figure it out. There's no sticker in the window. All right. So during the time of the homicides, Michael McKee's phone had been left at St. Anthony's Hospital in Rockford, Illinois, and showed no activity for approximately 17 hours from December 29th of 2025 until after 12 p.m. on December 30th, 2025. I took the sticker off of my car and I left my phone there. They'll never catch me. Wow. Dr. Dipshit. All right. So more recently, while Monique and Spencer Tepe were at the Big Ten championship game in Indiana on December 6th, the very night that he's creeping around their curtilage with several other couples, Monique went back to her hotel room early in the second half of the game. Okay. When identifiable friends asked Spencer why Monique had left the game, he told them she was upset about something involving her ex-husband and was going back to the hotel.
Wow.
So, and that's it. That's what we got. But what we got is a lot. It is a lot. So
is that it? How come it's not signed?
That's it. That's two. I mean,
does it say 1 of 2?
Yeah.
Pages somewhere? Okay.
2 of 2. Well, that was 2 of 2.
Okay, good.
That's it. That's it. So look, man, this is where I'm at with this thing. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, that's a lot. That leans guilty.
That's a lot. And here's where I get confused, because the thing that's been bugging me about this case, just persistently bugging the shit out of me about it, is this concept that he gets that there's no forced entry to the house and that this thing happens overnight. So, and again, like, in no way, shape, or form am I victim blaming here. But if Monique is on high alert that this fucking psychopath is back in her orbit, I mean, God damn it. Like, talking about going and getting an order of protection, which,
maybe
again, a piece of paper ain't stopping anybody if they got designs on harming you, right? Let's be clear about that. No piece of paper has ever stopped somebody who's been dead set on ending somebody else's life. A piece of paper's never stopped them, right? So, but to put kind of like everybody on high alert, including law enforcement, because
did they wait? What do you mean? When did they put law? Because if they put law enforcement on high alert, that's something.
They didn't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like on December 6th, we've got her leaving the game, because they both went to Ohio State. And like, Ali, I was kind of like filling you in on this. That's the Big Ten championship, which is Indiana, okay, which won the national championship, versus Ohio State in a huge game in Indianapolis. So it was a home game for Indiana, but they're going to cheer on their alma mater for the Big Ten championship. It's a big deal. Like you're not, that would be like if I took you to the Bears playoff game and you just decided to dip at halftime, and I'm like, where the fuck are you going?
Right.
You could have brought the kids, and you're like, oh yeah, my ex is being weird. I'd be like, what?
Right.
Like, let me call this dude. Like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you calling my wife? You know what I mean? It's like there's something really weird about it, because it can't be a coincidence that
she started talking to her friends
around the same time that this creep is creeping around her property. You have to imagine.
Right, but and she's disclosing to friends, like, because it's a long time later.
She didn't disclose to friends. She disclosed to Spencer. Spencer disclosed to friends.
Oh,
because they're like, where did Monique go?
No. I mean the other part that she had told them that he used her, and like if she's he'll buy the house next to her. So she's like telling stories, and it sounded very recently telling stories about her ex that. And it's been a long time. So
yes, 100%. And this guy's like back in it. You know what I mean? Like, he's all up in her shit. Like, to the point, like you said, where she's like telling people about, like, this dude has me worried. Like, I think what we're gonna see is long line of people that Monique was telling that like this dude was freaking her out, that she was like genuinely concerned that this guy was going to come and harm her, because it's more than that. It's
I think we would have demanded local police, like, come by the house, drive by the house often,
Yeah.
watch the house, like some shit like that. But that's not like something they can do forever either,
No, I know. I mean, like 100%. But to my point, and you kind of jumped in there, so I forgot what I was saying. I was worried. Like, I wish
You're
you
just
just
saying that
wait.
that she was talking about it. It was in her mind that you wish she would have alerted law enforcement somehow.
Well,
Got an order of protection, done something.
or even more. Yeah, I mean, you go in. I think at the very least, you go in and you get the OP. Because with that, like once she gets it, he's got to get served, and at that point, you're going to law enforcement because you've got these credible threats. And you've got people.
Where you've got escalating behavior based on old threats, right?
That's what I'm trying to say. So, but it precedes her going to get the papers, right? So she's getting it before she goes to get the order. In terms of going to the cops and saying, look, I went and got this thing against him, but I think that he's the type of guy that when he gets served with it, that he's going to react, and maybe in an incredibly violent way. I'm asking if you could just have somebody drive around our house maybe a little more frequently than you normally do, because I have a feeling, like a really, really deep down feeling that this guy's going to show up at our house. So,
and also to your point, you get served an order of protection, and you might not think just leaving your phone at the hospital and taking off a sticker is going to do it. Oh fuck, she got an order of protection. I'm top on the suspect list.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, we've got just a lot of other things that have been going on. We know for a fact that he ended up buying a silencer. To me, any kind of heat of the moment, that type of argument for like maybe a murder too, where it's not super premeditated. I mean, you buy a silencer. Can you think of any set of circumstances wherein you can
No, silencer should be illegal.
figure out an excuse as to why you would need a silencer?
I hunt late at night and early in the morning, and it really annoys my neighbors.
You don't use a suppressor on rifles.
I know. I'm just like,
I mean, I don't know shit about guns, but I know that much. You know what I mean? So, I mean, in the interim, so we know that he has that in his possession. There's been a nibbin, there's been a nibbin match.
A what?
Huh?
A nibbin.
Nibbin. What do you mean?
Nibbin.
So, but I mean, the nibbin match is not enough.
Explain it for other people.
Okay, so nibbin stands for the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, and what they do is they compare images of cartridge cases and bullets to identify potential links. So what they do is it'll flag like high confidence candidates for further examination, which is the key to this thing. So they get a hit on it initially in terms of what they found at the scene, and then what they found after they arrested him, I believe. And they're like, okay, but they're going to do further testing, which, Ali and I think that's bullshit too, with the tool mark stuff, the tool mark comparison, significant agreement, because at the end of the day, the amount of subjectivity that is involved with tool mark comparisons just, to me, doesn't make it reliable science, because you could put it in front of 5 different people, and 5 different people are going to say 5 different things. That is not objectivity. That is subjectivity. And you cannot be prosecuting people in this country based on subjective shit, where everybody's science. Yeah, it's not a good measurement to me. So, but they have, but when they find the silencer, and this idiot doesn't get rid of it. It's like, I'm going to scrape off the sticker I'm going to leave my phone at the hospital, but I'm going to keep the silencer because, you know,
I might need it
pretty
again.
cool.
Right.
Yeah. Brewski's theory is that he was going like this. He was just getting started. That he was going on the.
He's got other debts.
Yeah, he's got other debts to cash in. You know, for people that have wronged him in his view. So, but like, here's the thing that drives me crazy about this case, which Tony was so excited because I did a live with Tony yesterday, and he's like, I don't know why everybody's so worked up about the no forced entry shit. It's like, what's the big deal? You know, like they didn't lock their door. I'm like, no way, dude.
You pick a lock.
But no, like he was like kind of leaning on that they didn't lock their door. Well, when this shit drops, this shit was going on. And that she was aware of it, because I have to assume, and this is what I forgot that you kind of jumped in that I was going to say. I am assuming that when she's at the game, okay, and she leaves at the middle of halftime, that he's at her fucking house and he has texted her a photograph that he is standing outside of her house.
Well, somebody wrote that in the chat too.
Well, I didn't see that, but her.
No,
but
I know. I'm not suggesting you did.
So, but you know, and her kids are in that house. You know,
right. And if he's been sniffing around, even upsetting her, you'd think they're ultra secure on locking the doors if they go away.
Well, not only that, but they're locking it when they're home sleeping.
Right.
That's my bigger thing.
Oh, right.
Right. The no forced entry thing is the problem for me. So, but we know he's creeping around for 3 hours. He's probably trying to figure out an entry path. He may have worked it so that I haven't seen the back of the house. I don't know if there's a basement situation. I don't know if he was able to gain access somehow, setting shit up a few weeks in advance so that when he gets there, he's got easy entry or it's not going to appear. I mean, to me.
See what KCKG said?
No, I didn't. Let me see.
I put it right there.
Oh. If anyone watches King of Queens, the backyard is kind of like that. Garage faces alley, then curtilage, then back of house. Front faces busy street. Okay. So I know what you're saying. So like a smaller backyard, high fence. King of Queens, they had a high fence back there. Like Doug would always be back there grilling. They'd sit back in the garage. So the garage, yeah, would face alley, and then there was like a small yard, right? If I remember it correctly, because they would chill out in the garage like the guys would in King of Queens. And then there was kind of that like, you know, like cement type yard. So, all right, I think that's, oh my God, we got another person. This is the cover art for our podcast, Defense Diaries, which you should all be listening to. It's extra.
We should actually get that on like a decent shirt because people seem to like it.
Dude, it's going on our real merch. Like I ordered this through Sticker Mule, which they put shitty decals on. So when we get it done proper, it's not going to be where you can see the actual lines here. It'll be faded in. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be pretty cool. But thanks for asking.
By the way, Cammie corrected me and said that Ali family said she has always told friends and family about him. So it wasn't necessarily something new. I was kind of taking it like that. So thanks for that.
No, like I'm thinking that, look, when you're divorcing somebody after 7 months, and I don't know whether that was a big one.
Hey, here it is. Shannon, maybe he took a picture of the house outside and sent it to her, posted it online just to show
great minds. Oh, Shannon, great minds. I love it. You know, Shannon's been thinking about this because she was like dropping like the spoilers in the chat, like in the beginning of the live.
Oh, I heard you saying something when I was with the dog, but I missed it. All right, we're running up against our next live.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
15 minutes.
So, north of Boston became a member.
Oh,
what's he get?
Family
or she get? And this Charmaine TCSB member for 27 months.
Oh, gee.
It might have been before we were actually once the channel was up, but before we were actually
started doing lives.
Yeah. So she must also be a podcast. That makes me assume she's also a fan of the podcast. So thank you for your continued support.
Okay, so JD Kicks. It's a keypad lock, easy to override. Is that true?
Wait, where does it say that?
JD Kicks kicked in with a $2 holla. It's a keypad lock, so it's easy to override. That's a claim. I hear people saying that. I mean, we can't even figure out how to reprogram our shit. That
but yeah, easy to override. I'm not fucking buying it for exactly that reason. We bought a keypad, somebody installed it and threw away the directions that have the initial code, and we have never, regardless of customer support, online hacks, whatever, been able to reset that thing. So we just have a keypad that never worked because we never got around to replacing it. But it could be that the December 6th, again, I still think the possibility of surveillance equipment being out there, you can look at it, but yeah. So Ain't So Plain Jane says, is there ever a chance we can have a justice system that is not reactionary, especially in DV situations? I mean, that would be great. I don't know. We might need a little bit of the, what's that movie with Tom Cruise and the women, the water, babe?
Wait, what?
Tom Cruise movie, Women in the Water.
Cocktail?
No, predicting crime.
Oh, Minority Report.
But I absolutely see your point, and there should be a way. And I think that's the hope of this emergency order protection situation that we're discussing at the front of this. That's your way to not have to be dealing with reactionary. But it's so hard to have a system that's not reactionary because
the reality of it is it doesn't, I don't know that there exists anything in the world that Monique could have done that would have stopped this fucking lunatic from doing exactly. If there is somebody that driven, like I was saying earlier, a piece of paper is not stopping anybody from doing anything. Like if they're so inclined to that extent where they're like, oh, I'm off the rails, I'm going in, you know what I mean? Like no piece of paper stopping them. Like, point being, I don't think that there's anything, like kind of looking back on it, that was going to be able to prevent this guy from doing what he did, aside from maybe uprooting your lives,
right,
and vanishing.
No, installing super, security. Look at this. JD Kicks.
I don't know if that's going to stop.
Member for 25 months. Wow.
Ooh, love it.
Thanks for your continued support.
I was looking up this claim of how easy it is to override a keypad.
While you look for that, let me read his comment.
I just so there's step 1, check if there's a code recovery option. Step 2, try a factory reset. This is if you've forgotten your keypad code. Step 3, look for a key override feature. Step 4, contact the lock manufacturer. I don't think it's that easy to override it. I just don't. Because
based on our personal experience.
Because otherwise, but beyond that, just based on common sense and liability for lock makers. If you're Schlagey and you're like, okay, well, here's our keypad locks. They're super fucking easy to break into. They're getting sued left and right. They're the liability side of that. They're not going to make it so. So I don't know if he somehow was able to figure out a way to get through the keypad. I don't know if there was a way that he gained entrance. That'll all come out, I'm assuming, during trial.
You could use those if you're tech savvy, you connect something and it runs all variations of the code until it works.
Says magnet. What does that mean?
She's saying a magnet works. Hey, I still haven't read.
You're telling me that somebody can take a magnet and make a lock? Then Schlagey and the rest of these companies that make these things are fucked.
All right, I still didn't read.
All right, we're preparing our class action lawsuit. If that's true, if it's that easy to get in through a keypad lock to reset it or have it go wonky and it just doesn't work, we're filing suit. And if you have one, we want you to join the class. You'll probably make $27. It'll take about 6 years. It'll be great. We'll put all the lock companies out of business because that's absurd. That's just absolutely absurd. So Fig Fairy says there's a channel called Life Take Two that recently participated in a divorcee panel All the men on that panel spoke of punishing their former spouses for leaving them. Ugh, God,
Alright,
that's
babe,
scary.
I still have not read JD Kick's comment. We were supposed to be telling her how amazing it was that she's 25 supported us for 25 months, so thank you for that. OG
Yes,
as
that was
well.
amazing. Super OG.
Stalking situations are still so difficult for law enforcement. I mean, it's true.
Totally.
It's unfortunately very, very true.
Totally.
Oh, Cuddle Monster's mom.
Aw.
What does she get?
Family hug. Big family
Thank you.
hug.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
All right. We also have
Spoog says, Bob, I'm sure there's fine print. Are you, Spoogs? Are you? How sure are you? I don't think you can fine print away. Oh, yeah, magnets. You're fucked. Make sure you don't leave magnets laying around because somebody will be able to pick it up and get right into your house.
All right. So Lori, Jane, and Rhonda Brinsfield are also new members. Thank you guys.
Oh, family hugs. Thank you. Thank you. Look, the bottom line here.
Wait, I'm not done, babe. Free
right,
the doctor. We've got, we got to get through these. If he was casing the houses, he could have used binoculars to zoom in and get codes while they were entering. Facts. Or he could have been setting up some kind of surveillance equipment. Either one. All right. JD Kicks is coming back. It's still just a piece of paper. If their Looney Tune wants to get her, he's going to get her.
Gospel.
Yep.
Gospel.
All right. So now what were you saying?
So, like, here's the bottom line. This is just an absolute tragedy, like they all are. Like every one of these kind of domestic murders, whether it be somebody's left somebody and that other person just can't get over it, or it's somebody has found somebody else and they're in the middle of a relationship and they have kids and they, instead of getting divorced, they go ahead and do insane shit. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. Like my old thing where I'm like, divorce. Well, that didn't work here. This guy harbored it. This guy's clearly warped. I mean, this is a guy who just could never, like, like when you look at his like pre-blockhead, like square jawed pictures, like when you look at him from like months ago and even years ago, I mean, he looked to be like a relatively decent looking guy who's a vascular surgeon.
Right.
Like, it's hard to wrap your mind around, like, dude, move on. He was obviously broken in a lot of different ways. He's obviously him? Yeah, but like there's even better pictures of him where he just looks like a normal dude. Like now he just looks like a lunatic, like blockhead, that like giant square jaw. It literally looks like his hair. Like
maybe he's gonna have a steroid defense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Steroids
make your head turn into a block?
It might. All right, we're about to transfer over.
Whatever. So, but like one of the other things that
what?
Like I want to finish what I'm saying before we end this thing.
Oh, I have no idea.
So, but like kind of the last thing I want to get into, McKee did hire a pretty renowned criminal defense attorney, Diane Menashe, who is probably most famous for her acquittal of her client, that doctor, I think it was William Husel. And he was a doctor who had been charged on 14 murder counts in terms of saying that he was killing his patients by dosing them with fentanyl.
Wow.
Yeah, and she got a not guilty on it. And she's like, she's one of those lawyers who's not really a point the finger at the other guy. And that was a situation where she just attacked the concept that they're not going to be able to prove that that was his intent, that he was just a shitty doctor. I'm like, well, you'd think after like 5 or 6, the hospital be like, hey, man,
what's going on? Why are all your patients dying?
Buddy, there's like 5 that have died in your watch in the last 2 months. What's going, you know what I mean? It's like, how does it get to 14 where this guy is still employed? So, I mean, I'm sure if I were to look up if there's some suits against the hospital for continuing to employ this guy after they become aware that he's got this issue.
Yeah, his clients are dying at an unstatistically normal speed.
Right. It's just, it's crazy.
Unstatistically or statistically whatever I'm trying to say,
Yeah, I mean, this is a different case. Like this is like she's not going to be able to attack an element of the statute like that in such a way that she was able to get those not guilties. This is a little more challenging. She's got some really bad facts that she's going to have to try to overcome. But all right.
If it was end of life measures, then that's different. That's why you're saying the statute. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the intent. What was it? Was it like Kevorkian type shit?
Dr. Death.
Was it Kevorkian type end of life measures? Because that's a whole different thing for me.
Yeah.
I think people have the right to decide if they're done. Yeah, Lucy, she's an actual monster. So all right, well that makes more sense. So they charged him like they were trying to go after Kevorkian up in Michigan, huh? Which I was always a champion of Kevorkian. He was doing the good work for people that were
that
absolutely on death's door, who just didn't want to suffer and feel the pain anymore. So that's a different thing.
Tell people where you're portaling, babe.
She still won on the intent aspect of it. All right, so you guys don't have to do a thing. If you're here, we're going to portal you over to our next live, which is our continuing coverage of the Zach Adams trial. We're on part 8. Big day in the trial. Today is Jason Autry day. He is testifying. We're going to be starting right from the beginning of his testimony. If you're not familiar with the case, this is the guy who got Zach Adams convicted of killing Holly Bobo.
Who the judge said was, what did he say, babe?
Like the most reliable witness he's ever had in his courtroom in his entire career. It was like some shit like that.
Right. No, I remember.
It was crazy. So if you haven't been paying attention to that case, you should. It's not just a case we're watching from 2017. There's been a full evidentiary hearing post-conviction wise. We feel that it was very, very compelling. I happen to think that not only does he deserve a new trial, I think he's going to get one. So it's worth going back to take a peek and see what the hell happened with our system in that case back in 2017. So we hope when you get over there, you'll hang. We think it's a pretty good trial to watch. I know that the au pair thing's going on, which to me just seems, I don't know, weird. I keep reading comments that it seems like the defense is throwing it, but I was also reading that the state was shitting the bed. So I don't know. But it's going to be a minute. It's going to be a minute. Like the judge said 60 days, but that the reality of the situation, he'll need more time. So by statute, he has 60 days to render a decision, but he can obviously get an extension of time if he needs it because he wants to be thorough. And he said that at the end of the hearing, actually. So I'm figuring that'll probably be late summer that we'll hear something about Zach Adams and what that is. I mean, we're still waiting on the Todd Mullis, the corn rake guy.
Yes, the judicial wheels of justice move slowly. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you, mods. Thank you, new members. Thank you, old members. Thanks to each and every one of you.
We love you guys so much. And make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you're on replay, make sure you leave a comment. That helps us. And if you really love us, become a member. Other than that, remember this. Without y'all, I'm just an old man
sitting around talking to his wife.
And who's going to see you in like 7 minutes on our other live. Bye.
Heart